You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
And we are very happy you're here with Just Talking Out Loud, our podcast that we are in this our little dungeon.
Our little blanket dungeon.
Our little blanket dungeon. It's working really well though because
you took the blanket off the window.
Well,
though.
yeah, I thought somebody was coming to visit and we were going to go downstairs and watch the hockey game. And usually Alexis likes to cover in a blanket, but we ended up staying upstairs. But it was just fine.
Yeah.
But so I got a couple things we're going to talk about, and a couple things like when you go into a hotel. We're going to talk about hotels because we went a couple years back. I think it's been a couple years now. We went to a hotel. And it was just
horrible.
Not great.
It stunk. Had a horrible smell.
So they were talking about some of the things that you should clean or you should bring to the hotel
rather than using theirs. Was it the covers?
Well, we'll talk about that.
I'm afraid.
We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about that was the how many times should you wear certain clothes without washing them? I wanted to get Terry's idea on that.
Wasn't there one guy that tried to wear them like a whole year without ever washing them or something?
His clothes?
Yeah, there was some guy they wrote about that was trying to wash just jeans, a pair of jeans. He was trying to go a whole year without washing his jeans to see if they smelled in that.
Well, you might be right about. I can't remember that story.
I can't remember, but I thought that he wore the same pair of jeans
every
day, and was not.
Well, he must have had a job where he didn't sweat, because I think that would be just. I mean, if you had an outside job, there's no way you could wear the same jeans every day. You'd have to have like an office job or
just sitting and watching TV. Or maybe he wore them wore them only after.
Well, then
after work when he sat and watched TV. I don't know what I can't remember what that was about, but he.
Sometimes I wear these same. They're not really pajama bottoms, but
yeah, they're like
I put these on
nylon
things. I love. I mean, that's the first thing I jump into because it's just comfortable. If it's not a swimsuit, because
in the summertime,
hopefully in the summer we'll be
in
down
the summertime we
by the pool
are in our swimsuits a lot.
Now, when you were dating, when you're back in the dating days, we're going to take you way back in the days of dating. Did you
Most of my dating was with you.
Well, that's not true. You had dates.
We dated
before
for
me.
like 3 years. Though.
Yeah, but you had dates before that.
I wasn't supposed to start dating until I was 16. I got away with a little bit before that, but
Yeah, but we were
I was only 17 whenever I started dating you. 18 maybe.
18. Anyway, before that, did you ever care about what the guy drove? Did you have any like?
No, I wasn't really into like, oh, he has a hot car.
Yeah.
I did date someone that had a Corvette and that everyone else at school thought was really hot. They were like, oh,
Yeah.
But that didn't
matter.
Thrill me. He had a good job. He was a coal miner or something. I don't know. But then I dated a couple people that like to fix up cars. Like they bought old Camaros and old, what's the other one they always wanted to pick? But sports cars, older ones that needed a lot of body work, and they were welding underneath them, and I watched them fix them up. And
yeah, so it really didn't matter then.
No, and
the question they had this topic. It said, did it really matter what kind of car a guy drives? Have you ever dumped a guy because he had a crappy car?
No, usually, at that point, we were still in high school, so a lot of times they drove their parents' car to come pick me up and take me to a movie or something. I
mean, if it was a jalopy, but it didn't matter. If you were interested in the guy, it shouldn't matter, right?
It didn't really matter.
No,
I mean,
I don't think so.
Ralph had farm cars that he used to bring and get Janet with. You know, if his car had a flat tire, so he brought the whatever car was out there, and it might have been in the field.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just
it got you where you were going,
I don't think I knew you were going to say that because it's just not something. And I mean, I drove the Murata.
Yes, and it was a nice car.
It was a nice
car.
Very
nice car.
It was a really nice car, but it didn't. And then I was thinking, well, does the car make the?
But it was your parents too.
Yeah, it wasn't my car.
Yeah, at that point, it was still your parents. I mean, it ended
car.
up being your car.
Yeah, it
at
became
some
my
point,
car. Yeah,
but it was your parents' car at that point.
No, and then I thought, well, did that make me did that give me confidence because I had the car? And I really didn't. I mean, it was nice. I did like the car. I liked the way it looked.
Yeah,
but it didn't. I mean, it didn't really help my dating scene. You know what I mean?
Well, once you
Not
dated
really.
me, did you ever date anyone?
No,
You didn't date anyone
No.
else, and you only dated a few people before me.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You wasn't a big time.
I wasn't a big
asker,
time
yeah.
dater. No, you were the one that kind of, drugged me out to Dairy Queen and had your way with me.
Yeah, right.
But no, yeah, I was not much of a dater. And yeah. And then a lot of it has to do with, I think I don't go anywhere, so that doesn't help. I mean, if you're going to date, you've got to be outgoing
have some
a little
hobbies
bit. And I'm
someplace
really
to
not
go.
outgoing, and
Like-
I don't.
Like Sam likes to swing dance.
Yeah.
He would love if someone would swing dance with him once a month. I bet that would make a really good marriage for him.
Absolutely.
You know?
If you have
Even if they're not into it as much as he is, if they would learn, that would be a date night for them, Yeah,
you got to have something in common for
Yeah.
sure. I think that helps. I'm not saying we don't have some things in common, but I mean, I wouldn't say you were a morning person. You are now. It's kind of
You
weird.
made me a morning person.
Kinda
I
made
used
you-
to be a night person.
Yeah. Well, that's how some of our kids are still night. Nathan, I don't think Nathan is. Zachary, I'm
Nathan
not
and
sure.
Alexis get up early and exercise
Yeah.
and stuff. They're morning people.
They're morning people too. Yeah.
They made themselves morning people because I don't think Alexis's family is morning people.
I don't know.
And I don't think so at all.
I don't know, but we are. And
Yeah.
that's, and it's just,
Well,
and it
I
doesn't
think
matter.
we became morning people because of our work schedules.
It did. I mean, the
You
earlier
worked
get up.
6 to 2. You worked, when you work earlier shifts, then you get used to getting up and getting out of the house.
You might not be a morning person, but whatever makes you happy. I mean, it doesn't matter. I just was saying that,
But some of my girlfriends are up at midnight vacuuming the house because they're more of a night person.
Yeah, right. You'd have to get used to that if you're not a night person in the same household. That'd be tough. You wouldn't be able to get sleep. Or you could always go to my mom's house where she's running the dryer
At 4 o'clock
4
in the morning.
o'clock in the morning doing laundry. Would you rather have a low-paying job that you love or a high-paying job that you hate?
I would rather have a low-paying job.
Yeah, I
that
think that's
love.
an easy question.
If you can go to work and love what you're doing, and if people seem to appreciate you, it seems to help.
It does. This is probably the first job I've had where I've had a big core of people that
Or support.
very supportive. Our group, there's 4 in our group, but I mean, there's actually 6 on that actually started in that area. They still come down and are
And
a
they
big part
check
of it.
on you, yeah.
But the 4 that we have in our group, and I've talked to Joe and my boss and stuff about this, is we're very supportive of each other, and we are, we've got each other's backs.
If they ever have to make cuts in your group, it's going to be bad.
It would be bad. It'd be devastating because
they wouldn't necessarily do it by seniority either.
No,
because
might
they are not a union company. They may do it by, okay, he can lift and put things up, and who can do what, and who can we dispense of.
Well, yeah, we're not here to say that that's going to happen. I'm just.
But if that, it would be devastating.
It'd be devastating because
Yeah,
we're
because
very
you
close.
guys, yes.
We're and it's the first time that I've ever had a job like that where we're that close as a unit.
Yeah, because even at Fairmont, you got a couple people hired there, but yet you weren't always in the same division as them. Like one might be on the packing table when you were in the warehouse, and one might be on the on shipping or receiving when you were on the opposite. You know what I mean? But you didn't.
Well, I'm just saying as a when you come together as a group like we are, and we're work together. on a lot of different.
Well, like when you
things,
have to set
and-
up for a
it's
program or a lunch or a dinner, or like when you used to do pizza and politics, you guys all work together to get that set up. And
It's just seamless, it's that.
Yeah.
It's nice to have.
I'll do the tables, you get the chairs.
Yeah, everybody kind of has
their
their own
job, and
yeah. And it makes it makes the job. That was the other thing we could talk about too. Is I don't know if I have that paper here, but it's talked about how would you describe your office? Would you say it's sci-fi, drama? I don't know if I have that. I wish I had that paper now. And comedy. And there's a lot of laughing goes on. We have a lot of fun. It's very easygoing, and maybe the next one we'll cover that. I can't remember what a lot of people had said their office was like drama. A lot of people like drama.
Yeah.
I'm not one for drama.
Obviously, some of our friends don't. They've already quit jobs because of drama.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do what's best for you health wise.
Yeah. If it's going to drive you nuts, yeah, and it's going to make you not sleep at night and ruin your health, then you have to.
And I think a lot of it has to do with when you talk about would you rather have a low paying job, 50% would love a low paying job that they love. 26% say a high paying job that they hate, but 24% said not sure. But I wouldn't, if I enjoyed the job and didn't feel like didn't make a lot of money.
Enough to live on. I mean, you have to make enough.
I mean, what is not enough?
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on your lifestyle.
And it also depends on where you live. If you live in the city, it costs more to live in the city. Whether you're renting or owning, it costs more in the city. In a bigger city, it costs more to live. So
yeah, it's. I was going to go into something, and I lost it. I was going to say that. We talk about money, and I got that phone call yesterday.
Yeah,
and I saw this number, and I thought, Wexford. So Wexford. Why do I know? I know that number, even though I didn't really know the number. I knew the number, and here it was. The car dealership, and I thought they said your truck is in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart was beating 100 miles an hour
because you just traded your truck in and I got thought, something else.
And by everything I've read, it wasn't coming. Well, it wasn't the truck that I ordered. What happened was, it was the same color. It was everything that I ordered except for it had a towing package, which I didn't have. Because I don't tow nothing. And the price difference was like $300 more for the towing. So it really didn't add much to it, the towing package. But everything was exactly what I had put an order in for. And I thought he was asking me, do I want it or not? Which he was, but
he wanted you to go right then.
I had to go right then
if you wanted it.
Yes, because
when yours comes in, they'll hold it till we get there that evening.
Yes, because they can't. If I say I'm coming
this
afternoon,
to hold
they have to hold it. Just like that guy couldn't. He couldn't follow through. He didn't have the money or something.
Maybe he got laid off from his job or something. Yeah.
And so what happened was they were going through all the orders because he had called somebody before me. I guess she was in before I was, and she said, "Well, if it's there, it's like my situation. I'm working." And she said, well, if it's still there at 6 o'clock, I'll pick it up. But
it was gone.
It was already gone.
Yeah.
It was an hour, 1 hour. And this Ford Maverick was already, 3 people were already kind of like looking at it. And one had, he said, well, it's gone. It doesn't matter. I said, well, I didn't.
And I wonder then if it's someone from the outside, can they get more out of it? If you didn't pre-order, they might be able to get more out of it.
You mean the dealership?
Because, yeah, they can say this is the price.
No, they were selling it.
Like we got ours as a pre-order price because it came in as a pre-order, and they gave us the guy's pre-order price because it was already ordered.
Well, my pre-order price was $33.95. That's my pre-order. That's the price, and that guy's was $36 something. So, and I asked, my worry was, okay, let's say this happens in my truck. Is he going to do the same thing, or I have to go right now? No, he said this, when it's your truck, then we can't do anything with it. until
they have to hold it.
Till
you have
come
to
up,
say, till
look
you
at
come
it,
up
I
and
don't want
say,
it.
I don't want
Yeah,
it.
that's he said there's no.
So in other words, someone else came in, or
They saw it.
or they said before it came in, I can't take that
Right.
truck. I don't.
Yes.
We bought something else or something. Maybe
Yes.
they got tired of waiting.
He
and
told me
went
the
bought
money.
something.
He didn't have the money. He didn't have so
he couldn't get the
he couldn't get the
financing.
financing, which is weird because I'm sure he ordered it way before I did.
Yeah.
But I understand because I was struggling to figure out how am I going to do this. But we have options, and we'll see when we get to that point.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it is if both of our cars were getting to the point where my truck was 12 years old, your car is now 10 years old. And it's just
But we've
weird.
never had two new ones
No,
like
we've
this,
never
and then
had
they're both
that.
going to go bad. But in 10 years, when you retire, we may be able to downsize to one vehicle.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever be able to retire. I'd like to think I could retire. We'll see.
Well, I'm
Maybe.
hoping you can retire.
Well, I don't. That we talked about this a lot. I think either the last podcast or the time before, and it is when you lay down and I start thinking, I'm going to be 60. I'm going to be, and then you start thinking 10 years, and you're like, oh my gosh, and I know we've already. I don't want to bore because I've talked about this already, but it is. I don't know why it's like your mortality starts coming into play. When you watch your grandson, he comes over and you just see him getting bigger. He's doing different things. He's starting to, he's really starting to try and talk. It's just, and then we have another one on the way. And now we have a grandpuppy, a new grandpuppy. I say grandpuppy.
Now you wouldn't be called a granddad to them puppies before, but now that one went.
Still, but so we got another dog coming into the family, so another husky. But yeah, it's you're more. I don't know. I don't know why age when you start talking about 10 years because you're going to retire. You possibly are going to retire this year. So
or the beginning of
next year, yeah. Well, I didn't know if we're allowed to. Because
I
you're
don't
still
know.
in the process.
I've got to pick a date, and I've got
people are
to
listening
get all that stuff.
And you're like,
yes,
you shouldn't really be. So
but they know I'm thinking about it. I told my principals. And stuff
you
that
have talked about it.
I've told them that I would like to retire if I can finagle it. I would like to. Yeah.
So some of the things when we were going to the Outer Banks, we decided why don't we just start early, and then we'll get halfway down. We'll stay somewhere, and then the next it'll only be 4 hours. To get down
we'll
there.
be only 4, or less. We actually went more than halfway, so we only had like 3 hours.
Yeah,
and
so we get to the room,
and we got wasn't it Comfort Inn or Comfort Suites or something?
Yeah.
It was a nice name brand that are usually are pretty good. It looked very good on the outside.
Well, until you got into the room.
Well, yeah, because it was behind another one, like a Claritin or whatever. It was right behind it. So you really, when they showed pictures of it, it was kind of the front of the newer one, and it was an older one.
Yeah, and then I thought I had gotten a non-smoking room, so that didn't help.
But you got a smoking room and a pet room. I believe it was a smoking and pet room, and it had a smell to
everything
it.
that I just
hate
the smoking and the pet smell. And
so we have to you have to really pay attention when you're booking a place that you don't want.
Yeah, but I thought Comfort Inn or the Super 8 or whatever. I know they're not. I don't think it was a Comfort
Suites or something. It was some kind of suite. I thought it was something that was going to be a little bit better than like just stopping like we did on the way home from Florida the one year. We stopped with Mom and Billy Joe, and the cockroaches were everywhere in North or South Carolina. They were just huge and everywhere.
Yeah.
Kids were just crunching them outside the door.
Now we know, hotel staff, they do the best they can to try and clean the room.
Well, that one, it smelled like someone had an animal in there for quite a while.
It was just the smoke.
Was it the smoke? I don't know. It was musty smelling too, though. Well, it was like a musty smell.
So some of the things what do you think some of the things in a hotel room, some of the dirtiest things would be in a hotel room?
Well, I know Billy, my niece, she's done hotel cleaning before.
Yeah.
And she's a very avid cleaner. She's been since she was a kid and did it for her
Well, they're going to
parents.
change the sheets, I hope.
Yes, I would think you get new
And
sheets.
usually the bedding.
Yeah,
like
so
if
all
there's
your
something on
bedding would
top.
be new. And then the bathroom, they
So it's not
scrub
that.
down the bathroom.
That's not on this list.
Maybe the counter or the dressers didn't get washed off. The underneath the bed didn't get vacuumed.
Maybe not. But some of the things they say is the first thing you should bring with you is disinfectant wipes, which is true. And the television remote is the worst. It's one of the dirtiest things.
Oh yeah, because everyone's
Everyone's
touches it. You
touching
don't know
that.
if they, especially since COVID, they could have sneezed all over it.
So you want to wipe that off before you use it. Nightstands. Nightstands can get disgusting. Door handles, obviously, because again, everybody's wiping something and then grabbing the handle. Light switches, the toilet handle, the phone, which we've never used the phone.
Now with the cell phones, you usually
Yeah,
use your own.
Don't need a phone. And the fridge handle, if you happen to have like a little mini fridge. And they talk about wiping those things down first. And then some of the things I thought was interesting too was to bring, like, if you have a kitchen, if there's a kitchen in your, it wouldn't be a hotel, it would be a motel. What's the difference? Hotel has the
I don't know.
kitchens.
And some of them have just the mini kitchens, like 2 burners and a little tiny fridge, just so you don't have to eat every meal out. You know what I mean?
Like if you wanted water, right? And I wouldn't, if it was a glass, I'd probably be a little bit hesitant. But if it's in a plastic, like if you had the plastic cup in the plastic where you didn't open it,
yeah,
I'd probably, I'd be okay with that. But I probably wouldn't use it. Like if they had a glass ware or something there, or even a plastic cup, I wouldn't probably use it. But they were saying, like, if you knew there was a kitchen, you bring your own utensils, your glasses or whatever. If you were doing that, for wine, if you were in a halfway decent place. But one of the things I thought was interesting was to bring some type of shoes with you, like Crocs, to walk around,
or like a
that
slipper
floor.
sock.
Because I remember walking on that floor thinking, "Oh my God, this is disgusting."
Oh, that was just not what we were expecting at all. That was just
It was just nasty. So these are just some of the things that you want to wipe.
we were thinking when we stopped, we were like, oh, we might do this every year. This has been such a nice drive. We have time to go eat and have a good night's sleep before we get up and start in the morning. We'll be there before everyone, and we'll be, all settled in and everything. And then we got in the hotel room and we couldn't sleep, and it stunk, and and we were like, we're never doing this again.
Well, even the door had like 6 locks on it.
Oh yes, it must have been in a bad part of town or something, or at least.
Because it didn't really close that well.
No, but you could see the crack.
Yes, yeah. So
you
do
could
remember.
see the crack, yeah. And then then you had all the slide locks and everything, yeah.
Oh, it was just, the one thing that I remember.
And I wonder if that's why maybe a hurricane came through there and got the carpet all wet, and that's why.
I don't know, but it was so. I mean, it just.
The carpet was really old and really dirty.
It was, it was nasty. It was a nasty, and I hope I don't know I can't remember the exact name of the hotel.
Can't remember either.
Kind of put up, but I just remember that floor and thinking, boy, I wish I should have just put my tennis shoes on, taken a shower in my shoes so I didn't have to get out and touch that, well, the towels were, I don't even think we even took a shower. I think we got out of there.
I think we
don't even think we used.
Because we were like, we just couldn't wait to leave and
take a pee and out. We didn't even do no shower, nothing.
We brushed our teeth and then we went to breakfast. Like, let's get out of here and go to breakfast, and then we'll stop halfway down there and get lunch or whatever, because we were like, no.
Well, we were rested when we got down there, which was different.
Yes,
very
which
unusual.
was nice, because a lot of times when the kids were little, we drove through the night. And then I kind of slept on the beach while you kind of entertained kids until we could check into our place.
But we also had a lot of time to kill.
Yes.
And we had a turkey. Because we've been doing this for years. We have Thanksgiving in July, if you will. We bring a turkey, and that's our first meal
We don't have to fight everyone at the grocery store.
No, it's all
day we get there.
Yeah.
And I bring the potatoes and the stuffing and the corn and the turkey.
Now this year
and
will be
a
different.
stick of butter.
Yeah.
And what I need to cook it. And I usually bring a baking bag so it'll cook in a couple hours. And yeah.
And this year will be a little different because we're allowed to get in a little bit earlier than usual.
And then but usually even when we're running later, we've ate by 7 o'clock at night. And then we clean up. We throw the turkey in the refrigerator for sandwiches the next day, and we go to, sleep. And then we get up the next morning and go to the grocery store.
How many's in the car? Me, my wife, and a turkey's in the back, taking a ride. And trying to keep it on ice.
When the kids were little, we even did that.
Oh, yeah, we did it. We used to stay down there for 2 weeks, and we did a turkey 1 week and a ham.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had all of our lunches for the beach.
Yeah, we had turkey sandwiches and ham sandwiches. I've even made strombolis out of the hams when we got down there. But I remember the one year we were going to make strombolis and we could not find bread dough already made, and I didn't want to make bread with the yeast and stuff. So we ended up, I don't know what we ended up, probably having ham sandwiches, but we wanted to make strombolis with that leftover ham.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to throw in the cooler and go.
How many, we'll finish up this segment with how many kids, now I'm talking, I guess we could talk today. How many kids you think is ideal for today's family?
A lot of people are only having one. 1 or 2, usually.
Yeah, the ideal number right now.
It's 2, probably.
It's 2. This is from a survey they did. The parents who have more than 2 children, they say face a greater risk of heart disease. I don't know how you tie that all together. We have 3.
If you're going to let your kids do everything they want, and that means sports year-round.
It's tough.
Then if you have more than 2, I don't know how you could let them do. Like, what if you have one that wants to do sports year-round, baseball, soccer, or football, or whatever, but they do some kind of sport year-round? Then how can you tell your younger one, oh, you can't play because all my money's already into this kid because I've paid for him to play this and that and other thing. You know what I mean?
It's just tough because, people are working sometimes 2 jobs, just trying to keep their head above water.
Yeah, and they let their kids do everything.
But you want your kids to do stuff. You do.
Yeah, and I would rather my kids play sports or something than be in front of a video game all the time because let's face it, the ones that don't do anything sit for what we say 10 or more hours
on their computer
in front of
or something.
Either
video
games, watching YouTube,
TikTok, all that stuff. Yeah. But it says greater risk, and then each additional child, they said, boosts the danger even higher. Weirdly, though, having only 1 child or no children also increases the risk. So I don't even say. So they just kind of, to me, it's like they talked out of both sides of their mouths. They're telling you, the more kids you have, the greater the risk. But even if you only have 1 kid or no kids, it also increases the risk.
So 2 is the magic number.
But they're saying 2 is the ideal number of kids to have for most parents to. And I think a lot, like you said, a lot of families want 1. Some don't want any. Some want 3.
Some of them want 1 because they want to let them do everything they want to try.
Yeah, that is what you think is best for your children. I like that we have 3 boys and they're pretty close, and I think they
even though the last one is separated in age by quite time, but they are all still pretty close.
But they're very close, and because when they get together, it's it's fun. It's a lot of fun to watch them interact and.
And I think that's one reason Lauren and RJ decided they wanted another one right away because. RJ's close with his brothers, and she was very close with her sisters. Yeah. And she had 2 sisters, and
Yeah. It's nice to have that sibling. It's nice to have
I mean, you don't have to worry about even if you got mad at them and cussed them out last night. The next day you make up and it's all okay. You have to overlook each other, and siblings are different. You don't get to choose them, but it seems like you have to.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to talk about wearing clothes over and over again. How gross is that hot tub? Is that hot tub pretty gross? And we'll also...
Don't they have like a disinfectant
Well,
like stuff you put in there, like you do in your waterbed?
You might be surprised. And then I want to talk about fasting and skipping breakfast. That's something I've been doing. Might not be a great idea. It actually might be hurting you.
Slows down your metabolism.
Than helping
probably.
you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we'll see. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world, or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back to the show, and we've been discussing a lot of topics today. I thought we kind of touched on some of the things I had on here. The car, and I knew your answer. You don't really care what a guy drives. That's just not you. I was going to talk to you about this couples. Apparently, couples that drink together are much happier.
I'm sorry. I come from a big family of alcoholics, so that seems funny to me.
Yeah, a study, they found that couples who drink together report being a lot happier with their partner and their relationship than those who are not drinking together. So if only one of the couple is drinking, maybe they don't have as much fun because there's a designated driver. Researchers surveyed about 5,000 married people, on average, about 33 years old. Being 33 years old, an average age, and how often they drink in a week, how much they drink each time they pop a bottle. Researchers found that couples over the age of 50 reported better marriages if both partners drank some alcohol. If one partner drank and the other didn't, they were more likely feeling unsatisfied in the marriage. If neither drank, a positive response was given. So, it depends on what if both are doing about the same thing, then most of the couples were happy. Data showed that the quantity the couples drank didn't matter, or how often per week. What really mattered was that they were going to drink and they did it together. And they say, and this is in parentheses, don't forget you're a team. So if there's drinking to be done, do it together. But you bring up, I bring that up, and you come from an alcoholic family, and we've had your mom on, and we've talked about a lot of the things
my
that you guys.
My dad did not drink with my mom, although My mom did have some Boone's Farm wine in the refrigerator.
Well, I'm not saying she never touched the stuff. She wasn't a beer drinker. I'm not a beer drinker. I don't like beer.
But all my uncles, all my aunts married alcoholics, I would say.
Yeah.
And her two brothers, I would say, were both alcoholics at one point or another. Or
were their wives? Were they drinkers a little bit? No.
A couple of them had a glass of wine every once in a while when they were drinking, but they weren't like beer drinkers.
So they didn't go out together, is what I mean.
I think Uncle Dave and his first wife went out together some. Okay. They were together for a long time. He raised her 3 kids. Yeah. I mean, helped her raise her 3 kids. But some of them drank together, and I thought they would kill each other. My one uncle and his wife got divorced and remarried, and all the kids stood up for them, and I thought they would kill each other again, and they ended up divorced again. But, that's why I laughed when you said that they drink together. They drank together, and then they threw things at each other. So, you know.
Depends on how happy. Some people get not so happy. Depends on what it does to you, but... So I think the moral of the story,
and if they can go out and have 2 drinks,
some fun.
Have 2 or 3 drinks and stop.
Yes,
that's the other thing. I think some couples drink until they're plastered, and that's fine for an occasion like a Christmas party or a wedding or something. If you're spending the night, say it's at a hotel.
Yes.
And you and your wife want to get plastered, then you got a room so that you can go pass out in the room. You don't have to worry about driving until you're all sobered up and all that kind of stuff.
That's just being responsible. That's the way you should do it.
But I've seen a lot of couples do like a wedding or something, and I don't think either of them should drive home.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
but they do.
Yeah, there's a lot
of
people
them have
that
2
drink
cars,
and drive,
and kids in the car.
It's a chance you take. But if you're happy, just please be careful. Yeah. We're not condoning drinking and driving. Let's if you're going to drink, then...
So that was kind of a condition. I didn't want to marry. I think that's more one of the things I looked at when I was dating. If I went out with someone and they had to have a drink every time we went out, they were within a week I broke up with them. Within a few dates I broke up with them, because even if it was just once a week, but they had to have a drink every time we went out, that was a sure red flag to me.
Well, I would say, you saw what your mom, went through. So that's going to be.
And like most of my aunts and uncles, they one way or the other went through some kind of,
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker.
Yeah,
I've had beer. I just don't like the taste. It's not my go-to. That's all. I mean, God, if you like certain beers, God bless you. But for me, I just
like most drinks anyhow.
No, I'm not.
You like the sissy drinks like I do.
I do. I like those Bartles and James things. I thought those were pretty good.
They're wine coolers.
They're not. They're not
a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I have to drink a ton to. Well, maybe not because I'm not a drinker, but I like those. Rum and Coke, I like that. But I'm not. That's not. I don't. When I go out, that's not something.
That's not the first thing we do is order a drink.
What's the first thing I do when I order a drink? What do I order?
Water. Yeah.
That is my. I have a cup right here of water, and I drink it all day. That quenches my thirst.
Well, and they say you're healthier if you're.
Well, that's what they say. We'll see. I've seen people that run 5 miles a day and eat right, and they get cancer, and it's like, what the heck? You'd be the last thing you think, and that happened to a friend of mine. But anyway, so couples that drink together seem to be, or don't drink together, as long as it's together, they're happier. So, Terri, and now you wear. How often do you wear your pajamas? Do you wear them all week? Do you wear them a couple days?
I usually wear them for about a week, depending on whether I got the sweats or something like that.
This question came up, like how many times you wear something like pajamas, jeans.
Because I only wear pajamas to sleep in them. But now if you have a hot night
if you're sweating.
Or
Yeah.
like when the bed was like really cold and sucked the heat, then my pajamas stunk and I had to change them more often.
Right.
I get stinky when I'm too cold too.
Well, I think
it seems like.
that's what they're saying. Like the pajamas and other clothes, like certain things.
Almost a week.
If you're not sweating in them,
right,
then you probably could get, away with wearing them
I'm
a
only
little bit
wearing them
longer.
at night when I've washed up and put them on.
Right.
I have my bedtime routine. I wash up and put
But
my
there's been
pajamas
times
on.
when I've rolled over and your arm is in the air, and I'm like, oh, it might be time
to switch them
to
pajamas
switch those
on.
up a little bit funk, funk coming out of that
armpit. There.
And then I realized it was mine. It wasn't yours at all. It was actually my armpit. But so for me, like lately I've been wearing, I have been wearing the same in the evening, like the clothes. Like if I wear something on a Sunday, relaxing, and I'm not doing anything,
then you wear it again. In the
but
evening.
the problem is sometimes I exercise in the morning.
Yeah.
So then you sweat in it, and then I have to check it because today I noticed that I took that sweatshirt off. Like, it
needed to go in the hamper.
So it might be time to because you have to check the funk.
And
factor.
like with jeans, I might wear them 2 or 3 times before I throw them into the hamper to be washed, depending on whether I spilled something on them, whether I was hot or cold. You know what I mean?
Right. So what do you think the universal rule would be? Like if you were going to say this is the clothing you should wear every day.
Kids, they throw everything in the hamper.
You should not wear
Some
every
of
day.
them have so much laundry. I'm like, they wear it once and they throw it in the hamper. And
there are certain clothes though that you should
like
not.
my exercise pants.
Yes.
If I ran on the treadmill and it's especially because I have a little leakage, I have little problems, and then they go in the hamper.
They're going. That's what I mean. That's the thing. Like, don't you think that every day certain clothes should be like your underwear?
Oh yeah.
Most times should be
washed every day,
unless you turn them inside out.
Well, I know a girl that used to work at the store.
You get one more wear out of them.
Remember, she used to put her sweatshirts inside out. She would wear them inside out and wear them again.
Well, I mean that's
because they were dirty, so she would turn them inside out and wear them again.
If you were low on underwear, like if you didn't do you missed laundry,
you have a solution for that. You tell me not to wear them. All the
just
time.
don't wear any. Exactly.
But then you've got to put your pants in the hamper every day.
That's true, because you might have some ball sweat. Well, you're not in your case. You wouldn't have any ball. If you had ball sweat, then we'd have a problem.
Yeah.
I would have a problem, yeah. But underwear, right? You don't turn it inside out. You just throw it in there.
In the hamper.
Socks. Because I know I can smell my socks, and I'm this far away, and I can smell them now. Because I was on, in those boots all day. Tights and leggings. You just talked about that.
Oh, yeah. I throw them in they usually go in the hamper. Unless it's a Sunday and I sat in the chair reading or something. Like it was a weekend and I sat in the chair reading and I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but if you're not moving and you're not doing a lot, then I would think that, you would know if you had a funk factor going on or not.
How many times? Every day I'm always saying,
smell
smell this.
Well, yours is not necessarily because of sweat. Yours is because of you get cold.
When I get cold,
then it makes your armpits smell.
Yeah.
But they were talking about like if you're sweating, and if there's an odor that you should.
So how long do they say you can wear clothes?
Well, it doesn't say like this. The universal is like types you should wash every day is underwear, socks, tights, leggings. But it also says that if you are not, clothes you could re-wear is your pajamas, outerwear, jeans, and other clothes.
Jeans, I think, yeah.
How many times can you wear them without washing is based on how active you are, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, whether or not you could wear.
Like if you're a suit person, you wear a suit to work every day. You probably don't want to wear the same one every day in a row, but you probably have 3 or 4 suits that you could switch on and off and wear and then take to the dry cleaners every once a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's, yeah. But I've been wearing the same, like, lounge wear, I guess you would call it. Well, not
for
like I won't wear this. Like this is just king because I had this on today.
For
It'll
work.
go in the hamper. But these...
You wear them every night for the week.
Yeah, I just love these little...
Well, you'll wear them when you come home. You change out of your clothes and you put them on to lounge and you just lounge in them. You don't.
Yeah, my softies.
Your softies.
You got to have your softies.
That's what my grandma always called them.
My softies. I got my softies.
Going home to
on.
get into my softies.
I'm getting my softies on. But yeah, it's I just it's you want to be comfortable. Jeans are not. When I'm at home, I just feel like this is my active wear. Even though I'm really not that active right now. I'm just we're doing this podcast, so we're active. We're using our mouths.
We're sitting on our butts.
And we're sitting on our butts. But we could be sitting here eating, which is hopefully our next podcast.
Good, yes.
That's what I'm hoping we're going to be
eating some Oreos.
Yeah, we're going to be doing an Oreo with sour cream that supposedly makes them taste like a cheesecake. And then we're also going to be doing the root beer Coke test, where supposedly you mix the two and it tastes like Dr. Pepper. And they're saying that's how they came up with Dr. Pepper. Just put two drinks together, and that's how they got it. So hopefully Zach and Sarah want to do that. So will be our next podcast, I hope. But they're very busy. I was fasting. Have you been fasting for any?
No, I haven't lately. Ever since I did the diet where I had to eat all the time, I haven't. I wanted to fast. Why did I want to fast this?
Well, you were doing this diet, and you did want to fast, and you did fast some on it. Although it did have some food, but it wasn't. When I say fasting, I usually try not to eat after 7 or 8 or 9, depending on like the ice cream.
I used to not eat after 6 and didn't eat until noon.
Those little ice cream bars, I don't know, I can't remember what they're called at Sam's Club, but those things
are good.
Are so freaking good.
I know. I put on a pound last night,
and you see
and
these,
it's just a wee little 4-bite of a bar.
It's a little mini
ice cream. It's like double dipped, like fudge and chocolate or something.
It's got
good.
Caramel or caramel, depending on how you want to say it. Some people like to say caramel. It is so, and it's just the right amount. It's not.
It's very small.
It's very small, but boy, it packs a punch because it's good. And then you find it later because a little chocolate breaks off because it's double dipped.
Yeah.
And it breaks off and you find it's stuck to your butt. Because I had like this chocolate piece. I thought I pooped my pants, but it wasn't. It was actually the chocolate from the bar. I did because I thought, oh my gosh, where did I sit? Because did I poop through? Did I do a diaper? Like Fenn doesn't. Well, he hasn't done that. A diaper blowout. Thank God, not
lately. Not for us, anyhow.
Because I had to change him the other day. Oh God, he just has some smelly poop. So anyway, fasting, that's the new rave, and I was doing it.
They say fast and then feast and then fast.
Yeah, well, you do like 10, 12-hour fast, and then you eat your regular meals from 12 from lunch until whatever. But they were saying that that skipping breakfast could actually hinder the body from fighting off infections. That in some cases, they did this study. They had one group that fasted a few hours, some fasted 24 hours, and it's apparently impacted the immune system because it was causing it's some way that. Because my brother always said you gotta have breakfast, and that has always been the thing that people say. You get up and you have a nice breakfast. Now, when we say nice breakfast, are we talking Bob Evans breakfast? Because we went to Bob
I do a
Evans.
quarter cup of oatmeal and a quarter cup of blueberries with a little bit of almond milk on it.
Now, can you have toast with that?
Well, you already got your grains in your oatmeal, so you really probably don't need a toast with it.
Well, I know that the farm, what's it called?
Farm Fresh Breakfast.
Oh, my God.
Farmer's
Choice breakfast that we just had.
You
over the
eggs,
weekend.
however you want it.
And then, it's two. 2 eggs, and then you had the sausage, and then you had the home fries. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, home fries.
And then you have
And then you could pick
pancakes
or
or
French
toast.
Yeah, it's probably not the way to go. It
But
should
then
have
we
gone.
don't usually eat lunch on those days.
No, we don't. So what they did was they did this test, and they collected blood samples after one group did 4 hours and then another group did 8 hours, and they determined that the fasting group, they noticed a change in the number of monocytes, which are white blood cells in the bone marrow that make their way into the blood and tissue to fight infection and even cancer. At the baseline, everyone had the same number of them. After 4 hours, however, a staggering 90% of the cells were no longer in the bloodstream in the fasting group that had 8 hours. It got worse as it went. So in other words, if you fasted for 4 hours, then those monocytes
But even
were okay.
the Bible even says that fasting is good for your system. It's supposed to clean out things out of your system.
I think they could find something wrong with everything if they really wanted to. They tell you coffee's good, coffee's bad. Fasting good, fasting bad. They can find, if they really wanted to, because everybody's different. Everybody's body's chemistry is different. Maybe some people should only fast for 4 hours. Maybe others 8 hours. I guess it depends on you and your doctor.
Most people sleep from 7 to 9 hours a night, so that's fasting. I mean,
well, yeah,
you don't have food or drink for that.
That's true. I mean, you would consider.
So
that's
if
a
you
good
skip
point.
breakfast, that's a fast.
So if you don't eat,
got 10 hours or more.
Yeah, you don't eat past 7, right? And then you get up if you have to be to work by 7 or 9 or whatever. If you were not to eat until, right, then that would be 10 hours.
Yeah.
Or is that 12 hours? It would be 12 hours.
12 hours.
Yeah, it'd be 12. Math is not my strong suit,
7 to
obviously.
7 would be 12
That'd be 12, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's 12 hours right there if you just did it that way. And then you wouldn't think about it, right? Because if you're trying to go from 7 o'clock in the evening until noon, your mind is constantly, especially where I work, because there's food everywhere all the time. So you're constantly wanting to eat. So it makes it harder to fast. But if you just do it, if you think the way you're thinking, do it during the night while you're sleeping. And that's the other thing, too, is you got to get 7-8 hours sleep. That makes a big difference in how your body feels. Because they say anything less than 7 hours, you're not really getting that REM sleep. You're not getting
I was awake last night. I could not sleep. And you would think with this time change that we would have it lighter in the morning. Because, okay, you changed your clocks from midnight to 1, right?
Well, it's 2. You started, I don't know, you just, yeah.
But it went up an hour.
It went up an hour, yes.
So it should be an hour sooner than it used to be. So it should be lighter when you get up in the morning.
It's throwing off. A lot of people are just, a friend of mine is saying and everything seems off.
Oh,
you know what
it
I mean?
does to
like
me
yesterday,
this week.
I thought, like when the kids come over, I was thinking it was only 6 something. It was 8 o'clock.
I know, and we went forward. So
because that's how much faster it seemed like Monday. That day went, and this whole week has been kind of this is going to be 2 weeks old, this podcast, but it just seems like a lot of people say that the daylight savings time, it takes them up until Thursday of that week.
I don't know if I'll be adjusted to it by then.
Some people say it takes kids almost 2 weeks to get adjusted.
All I know is the late list is horrible. I've got 10 to 12 kids waiting in the foyer that they can't get to school on time.
Because they're late?
Yeah, they're late because they're so used to, sleeping in a little bit longer.
I think we need to stick with one thing, whatever it is, whichever one it is. Either you spring forward, stay on this. A lot of people like it lighter in the evening.
Yeah, for sports and stuff.
They like it, lighter in the evening.
But for buses, some people want it later in the morning because, that way the buses can see the kids by the road.
So, I don't know. You pick one and let's just roll with it. That's what I say. We're going to cut it off there. Next week we'll talk about hot tubs.
Oh, okay.
And how
disgusting
how
they
good
are?
they are. No, they're not. Well, yeah. We'll talk about how. Well, it just depends on what you think it is. And then we'll also talk about next week. People would want to plan their own funeral. And you'd be surprised at how they want to be buried. It's interesting reading between millennials and baby boomers and how each think about how they want to plan their burial. I'm still thinking, do I want to get cremated? Do I want to?
A lot of people are cremated now.
I don't know. We need to do all that too.
Yeah, we do need to make some decisions.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that, guys. It's just depressing.
It is depressing.
Isn't it depressing? As you get older, you shouldn't have to be thinking of those things. You should be thinking about fun things, exciting things. Well, let's just leave it at that. All right. Okay. Hey, that's it for us. Don't forget to subscribe, and because every Monday we have a new episode, and share our episode. If you like something, share it with your friends. Get it out there. It's easy to do. All you have to do is on the very bottom there, it'll say share, and you can put it on your Facebook page. Hey, listen to this or whatever. So we'd appreciate that. You can also check us out on Facebook or Twitter at Just Talking Out Loud, and our Google page, Just Talking Out Loud at google.com or gmail.com. I said Google, it's Gmail. Sorry, same thing. Gmail.com. So you can contact that way. And we appreciate all of you. Have a great week. We are out.
Have a blessed week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.